What's going on, guys? Web Style. Brian Safford with another NRW checkpoint. Brian, how you doing today, man?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Well, we have the nominations for the Game Awards, and let me tell you, Brian, and I'm pretty sure agree. We could spend the whole show talking about the Game Awards
Right.
and the nominations, but I think there's one, and we saw it coming when they changed the rules last week, the FAQs.
I didn't hear about no rule changes.
Yeah, they changed the FAQs as far as what could be considered for Game of the Year and included DLC.
Really? I didn't hear
Yes,
about
that
that.
that yeah, that came out last week, and then this week we see the Game of the Year nominations came out, and the Elden Ring DLC is nominated for Game of the Year. I have a
But
problem with that. How about you, Brian?
yeah, because it's not a game. Well,
Right.
I mean it's a
No,
part
it's
of a game. But
right. It's not a standalone, and
right.
I feel as though that's first of all, I heard somebody say that it really does a disservice to games that actually came out this year, and I agree.
Right. Agreed.
But it's a DLC. It
Why?
is you need the base game, and the base game is what, a year old, 2 years old now.
That's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
see
Like, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I'm saying I don't see how you qualify that as game of the year when you need a game that came out before.
Exactly.
It's not a
And on top of
standalone
that,
game.
on top of that, what was the issue with just making a category DLC of the year?
Exactly.
I
Or what
understand.
is it? The best ongoing game. I think a lot of
There
that
you
are
go.
games with
Hmm.
constant DLC or churn with regards to content.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's in that category too. I don't remember correctly. But how do you nominate DLC for Game of the Year?
They
Like,
want to
how is
give they want to give Elden Ring's game money.
this is I don't get it. I don't th- this is, we talk about game journalists all the time.
Hmm.
These are things as gamers that piss us off because we see stuff like this, and these are the things again. Jeff Keighley is doing his own thing. He does this show. He's trying to make his money. I ain't hating on Jeff Keighley. Okay.
Okay.
However, whoever puts in place to make these nominations,
Crazy.
they're like game journalists, they're like people in the game industry. This is where we get a distrust for the games media when we see
Hmm.
things like this, because it seems like it's simply there to line pockets
They
or
moving the
gain
goalposts.
favor. Yeah, or
Mm.
gain favor of the game publishers. And
Right.
that's what it comes across as. And we see that with reviews, we see that with biases against, whether it's Xbox or gushing over the Switch and everything, and where some of the games are, by extension, mediocre. And again, that's Metacritic, not necessarily my opinion or not.
Right.
But my point is, things like this continue to make us distrust the games media and really
Definitely.
being able to look at them as objective references for us, the consumer, to make informed decisions. You remember back to GamePro, EGM, none of us thought that any of those reviews were bought and sold, or there was
Right.
incentive for them to give positive reviews to a particular game because of they wanted to garner favor. Now it seems like in this internet age, like you always have to question it, and that's bothersome. Like I want the Game Awards to be like this pinnacle of excellence where you are really highlighting the best of the best.
Agreed.
Um, and I'll say, they equate it to the Oscars,
I was about
which
to
I
bring
think to
that
some
up.
degree, rightfully
Hmm.
so. But even the Oscars have done a better job of highlighting all movies, because the Oscars all the time it was like specific genre flicks and fare that
Hmm.
nobody's seen. They have done a
Right.
better job of really highlighting and championing and honoring the movies that we all have seen, not just the niche indie uh art house fare. And I
Right.
appreciate that. In this case, it's like there's so many games that have come out, so many games that we've talked about over the past year that have been
Hmm.
absolutely excellent,
Hmm.
that are just like, how do you not talk about one of those as game of the year, but you talk about the Elden Ring DLC instead
Right.
of one of those games? That's where I don't get it. that's what I don't understand. And that's what really pisses me off. And it was like, will I watch the Game Awards? Probably, because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
trailers.
Right.
The trailers. That's
Mhm.
really what it is. Like I
Yeah.
don't care about who wins. I don't care about who wins because of these nominations. And we're not going through all of the different categories, but there are some like how many times can you nominate Fortnite
Right.
for best
Like,
on game? Like there's so many. Or come on, now, you really nominated Destiny 2 for best ongoing support? Really, Destiny 2
right.
with the crap and the delays and everything that game has dealt with this year as far as DLC and additional. Really? Like there are
Mhm.
just some things that, and again, I don't play Destiny 2. I just like I'm reading, I see, oh, this DLC is pushed back. Oh, this DLC was cut. Oh, they're not like, and you really nominate them for best ongoing game, but something like Path of Exiles, which has had consistent updates for the past 10 years, you don't nominate? Really?
I mean,
Like,
it's ridiculous.
yeah, it is.
and
It is, but
and
okay,
to your point, well, not necessarily to your point, but I don't necessarily understand like because when you brought up the Oscars, right?
right,
Normally, or we can even talk about the Grammys since they just put out their nominations
right,
recently. Normally, when you see those things, and I'm thinking about Denzel's recent interviews for Gladiator 2, like when you receive these awards, it like puts you in a separate stratosphere from
right,
everybody else.
right,
You don't have to do certain things like go on auditions. You can charge more for your musical input because you have Grammys and things like that.
right.
Like winning a game award, does it make the developers more money, or can
No,
they like what is that doing to boost the status of the people who made the game and the game itself? Is it just we recognize this game as one of the best of the year, or like does it come with benefits like a Oscar, a Grammy, a Tony would? Like what's the thing with that?
yeah, I doubt that. I think the biggest thing about the Game Awards, I think that gets more eyeballs on the game, on games in general from the general public. That is the biggest attribute to the Game Awards, especially now that is broadcast everywhere on Twitch, on YouTube. It is
Hmm.
accessible. It's not on a cable network, and it is accessible to a lot of people all over the world. And I think that's the biggest thing because there are games that, especially talk about indie games that we've never heard of before,
Right,
that end up getting highlighted. There are the trailers that get showcased are games that we all want to see. So I think a lot of it is more or less like higher profile. But even so, a lot of games that they nominate an award are games we all know already.
right.
So I
That's what
don't
I'm
know if it
saying. Like, what is
serves,
it doing?
yeah, I don't know if it serves any purpose in that regard because I sure as hell know that the way the game industry has been laying off people the past year, that
Right.
an award don't mean jack when it comes to these
Right.
corporations' bottom lines. And again,
Right.
I understand how corporations work, and it sucks because it didn't
Hmm.
always usually be this way, but that's how they work now. And nobody's going to care if you got a game award if they are trying to trim the fat to please shareholders. And that's really what it comes down to. It's the
So
game
then what's
awards,
the purpose?
it's supposed to be about us. It's supposed to be about the gamers, and that's where they lost sight of. That's where things like this make why people get online and they're upset because the game award are supposed to be about players. It's supposed to be about the games and a
Right.
way for the gamer to celebrate the games.
Which is
And
great.
when, yeah, but when you do stuff like this, that essentially thumbs a nose to your very audience, that's when people get upset, which rightfully they are doing online all over the place, regardless if you're a fanboy or not. I think there's a consensus that everybody says that a DLC to any game should not be nominated as Game of the Year.
Because that don't make sense.
It doesn't.
It just don't make sense. Like, why are you nominating? Especially when you have that best ongoing category right there. Or you
Hmm.
could just create a
Or make a
category
new
specific to
category.
DLC, right?
Yeah. Like
I just don't
best
get it.
DLC of the year.
Right.
You
Because
know?
I mean, because like I just don't understand. Like, oh, we're gonna change the rules and move the goalposts for this particular category so that we can put a DLC in there. And then what? So if the DLC doesn't win, what was the purpose? If the DLC
Exactly.
does win, what is having Game of the Year do for anybody who made the game?
I feel like this. If I lost Game of the Year to some DLC, I would be pissed.
Yeah,
as a
because
developer.
because everybody understands what a DLC is. It
Right.
is not a full complete game. It's an add-on to a game that's already been out.
Exactly.
You
And
can't play
I
the
would be
DLC
pissed.
by itself. It's not a separate game.
Yep. Yep, I agree. I agree. Like I said, we can go
It's
into a
weird.
lot more of that, the
Yeah.
gaming wars and our disappointment in certain categories, but we may reserve that for another episode, especially as we get close to the game awards that come on in a couple weeks, if I remember correctly.
Right.
Um,
And before we move on real
yeah,
quick, doing this with this whole DLC thing, you taking away a spot from a game that could actually be a game, like
exactly.
for game of the year. I don't know the nominees. I haven't had a chance to go through all of the game award like nominees and everything, but I'm quite sure a large portion of the outrage outside of the fact that they're nominating a DLC for game of the year and changing the rules so that they can do that
Right.
is that that DLC is taking the spot for an actual game that was good that people probably want to see nominated for Game of the Year.
Yep.
I don't know. Weird,
That-
weird behavior. I don't get it,
yeah,
but
me either. Me either,
what,
man. But
what we got going on today with like the releases though?
we'll get there, but we got another thing.
Okay.
Cloud gaming is getting more accessible in two formats.
Okay.
One, there was an update for the PlayStation Portal, which allows you to
I saw that.
stream
I saw that
120 games from PS Plus Premium
without having a
without. So essentially, it is and again, this is where I say that this is when the portal, I think, is it 299 or 199? I forget.
I would say 299.
Okay,
Let's see what's
I think that it could be worth the money, could be.
yeah, with
Um,
something like that.
yeah, yeah, because even with and I'll get to the next part.
Oh, it's 199.
Oh yeah, it's worth the money.
Yeah, it's $200.
Yeah, it's oh yeah, okay. This is where it's worth the money because you get on my 199 and
Mm-hmm.
then you're paying your whatever cost for PS Plus Premium. It was like 160 a year or something like that. I don't know how much it translates
Yeah,
to.
something around there.
But I think that is well worth the money.
Definitely.
And I think honestly, it's a great way of getting people into the PlayStation ecosystem, and it directly mirrors what Xbox is doing. And now Xbox is now even one-upping that by
Mm.
they are now starting to roll out cloud play for games you already own if you have Game Pass Ultimate, not just games on Game Pass Ultimate. Now,
Mm.
I will say disclaimer. I let my Game Pass membership lapse just because I hadn't worked up enough points and I wasn't trying to pay them. But about 2 days, I'll have enough points to reactivate my subscription. So I'll be able to tell you what games of mine that I own that I can play. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be some of the greatest hits
Mhm.
of Xbox and from big major third parties that aren't already on Game Pass and EA Play for that matter. But I think that's a great step toward cloud game. But also um, going back to the portal because I saw the portal and it made me look up the biggest competitor of the portal is the Logitech Cloud Player or G Player, whatever it's called.
Okay.
Now, mind you, there's a lot more than just a cloud player because there's also an Android device and so on and so forth. But that's running $300,
Right.
which is insane in
It
my
is.
opinion. It really is insane. And there really needs to be, I think, and there used to be a lower end handheld PC for one of the Iron Loki Mini. No,
Mm.
Loki Zero. They've discontinued that, but that when that came out, that was 249. That was an absolute steal.
Okay.
And then it was like lower end PC specs, but I'm thinking that's still a gaming PC
Right.
as well as then you got the cloud play aspect of it as well. And it's like
Right.
6 inches. Like if they still sold that, I'm like, that would be probably the best competitor
Mm.
for the portal when it comes to being able to stream other cloud streaming services. Because mind you, the portal is only PlayStation. That's it.
Right.
You can't do anything else. But I think that is a excellent value now that
Mm.
they've added that it's particularly if you're someone who does have PlayStation Plus Premium. Now,
Which,
I think
but
it
that's
sucks
me.
that it has to be premium,
Yeah, yeah,
personally
but
but again,
that's
no
that's
different than
part of the perk.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
No, you need Ultimate to get cloud play. So I mean, I'm
Right.
not I'm not sad about that, apples to apples comparison with both of those gaming systems. But I am very excited to see where we are, excuse me, in this space a year from now.
Me
Because
too.
this seems, and again, it's been a long time coming.
Hmm.
We know PlayStation been working on cloud for a long time, and they really should have been ahead of everybody because they bought online, they bought the other cloud service, Genki, like cats who were doing this 10 years ago.
Right.
They bought all of them, and they are late to the party when it comes to their cloud, which makes no sense to me. And then Microsoft, who is consistently building out their cloud infrastructure, and they have, arguably the biggest, if not second biggest cloud platform in the world with
Mm.
Azure to build it on, they are constantly getting better and improving. And I
Mm.
told you many times I play many of the games, the AAA games that they've released. Senua Saga 2. What was the other one I played? I forget the other one I played via Cloud Play, especially via my phone, and it was flawless.
Okay.
Flawless. Like I can't wait to play indie through Cloud Play when that comes out next month to really see like how big, and that's on my TV too. I'm not even talking about just on my phone. Just
Right.
key times, obviously, not like at 7 o'clock on a Friday night when everybody and mama playing video game, but key
Right.
times like it's like flawless. But
Right.
I'm really excited for cloud gaming, especially considering that they are. I like that they're lumping it as far as a larger package. I wish there was just a simple, just cloud gaming option.
Hmm.
Like $10 a month, you just get cloud play. That's it.
Yeah.
Or cloud play to the library you own.
There
I
you
would
go.
pay that.
Yeah,
I would pay
definitely.
that easily. Ten
Definitely.
dollars a month.
But especially like for somebody like me, I'm 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 noticing with my gameplay
Hmm.
that the older games, like the PlayStation 1 games, PlayStation 2 games, PlayStation 3 games, the games that I missed when they were fresh on those consoles,
Yeah.
I'm more so cloud streaming those rather than just downloading them to my
Right.
actual console. So this something like this could be like really perfect for me, like to
Yeah.
just take it on the go with me, like I do my Switch and just stream like those older games and just play those at my leisure. I think that's dope. And it also makes me excited, like you said, for a year from now, because possibly this could be Sony prepping us for a PlayStation Portal 2 that is going to have standalone games and things like that. Maybe they might be trying to, dip into
Could be.
the portable handheld space with doing something like this. So I'm excited.
The funniest thing, and I was thinking was, a lot of people hate on Dreamcast guy for a good reason, very
Mm,
good reason. But I was watching, I think the first video I saw talking about it was his video.
okay.
And as an Xbox user, I was laughing because he was so excited. It's like all it does is pull your save state and you just pop the game up through the cloud. I'm thinking, dude, I've been playing that on Xbox on my phone for 2 years. Like literally through cloud play. I'm like, that's not new. It's just new for PlayStation. I said, in my mind, I'm like, this is where, like, get into the box. Like, this is where I'm like, okay, Xbox has done that for years, literally years now. And you're excited because PlayStation is doing it. And I'm like, dude, really?
Yeah.
It's not so new and novel and exciting. It's the way we're going.
Right.
And as an aspect of traditional or an addition to traditional gameplay, I love it. But when we start to turn a corner, when it's all the gameplay we have, that's when it's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah. Well, that's it for all of the news. Let's jump into the games. We got a short list this week. A lot of games came out, but there are a couple that stood out that I really want to talk about. We talked about, Xbox CarPlay Game Pass. Well, two of the three are on Game Pass, but you'll
Okay.
see why. First one is Stalker 2, the long delayed sequel to the original Stalker, Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, dropped on the Xbox Series systems and PC, and obviously Game Pass, which also means cloud play.
Right.
In Stalker to experience a unique blend of first-person shooter, immersive sim, and horror. Once again, adventure into an open-world wasteland. This is a sequel to the GSC Game World's popular shooting franchise. So we're gonna watch the trailer for that.
Okay.
Next up is a game that some people have been kind of bummed with, but not necessarily for bad reasons. Well, no, for bad reasons, but the reasons they're bummed haven't been bad for the developer. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 dropped on the Xbox Series and PC, and of course, Game Pass, first party. Microsoft Flight Flight Simulator 2024 extends on the original game's complex flight model with all new career missions, including aero fight, firefighting, rescue, search and rescue, cargo transporting, air racing, experimental flight, and more. And the reason why this game has been a disappointment, but not in a, I would say it has been for bad reasons. Their servers have been overwhelmed
Okay.
because of
So
the
people are
demand.
playing.
So people are playing, but so many people are playing, their servers are overloaded. Some people can't even get them. This is the problem when you rely too much on the cloud and the internet to really generate these things. Because this
Right.
is a game that is heavily built on using Azure to generate real-time scenarios in the cloud. So
So
when you
that's
have so many,
probably. Go ahead. I'm
okay.
sorry. No, I was gonna say that's probably what happened with the Mike Tyson fight. I feel like that's what was going on.
That's a great analogy. Exactly. That was 60 million people. Yeah, I don't know if 60 million people playing Flight Simulator, but a
Right.
whole lot more people are playing than what they expected. And it's causing bottlenecks and people aren't even getting off the landing strip. But they said they're fixing it. But I'm like, those are problems I want to have as a game developer.
Definitely.
I want to have everybody playing my game to where like we have to increase server capacity. Like that's a good thing. It's frustrating for players, but as a developer, that's an awesome situation to be in.
That's a good sign, yeah.
All right. And last but not least, we have Spellagis on the PS4, 5, Xbox One, SX, PC, and Switch. Spellagis is an arena shooter and roguelike hybrid. Brave mages unite to prevent darkness and restore balance by combining knowledge and artifacts. They engage in a battle where every step towards victory is deceptive and dangerous. And with that, let's jump into our trailers. First, let's go to Mother Russia with Stalker 2.
The greatest temptation is trying to control something we do not fully understand. But what do we do when faced with truly inexplicable? Some tear it up to make souvenirs. Others keep it chained up inside a perimeter cage. Perhaps all the zone really needs is our compassion.
It does.
Yevhen Martinenko, 25 years old. Born in a small town.
Like a horror game almost.
Yeah, it says it's run the first person shooting horror.
Okay.
I mean, you're in Chernobyl, so I expect things to form creatures and whatnot to be coming after you sometime.
Right.
In your search for the truth, you had the courage to enter this zone.
And then, what happens? A tragedy most horrible? Or a joy most profound?
What if the scanner gets damaged in the fighting? These are not stalkers, but former monolithians.
Some come to the zone to make money. Others come looking for miracles. Many just want to find happiness. A way to feel real and alive again.
I'm sure you can handle it. One way or another.
There is nothing you can keep secret. It's just a matter of time.
Nay, I'm not looking to make friends. Skiff.
And if we do nothing, houses on the mainland will continue to burn and collapse. If you fight a soldier, you're only fighting yourself.
Okay.
All right.
Well, it looks good, actually.
Next up, Flight Simulator 2024.
Let's do it. quality. Pursue your dream and a career that you can actually just go get quality guys. They can be quality tonight. Pilot short pitch. I never played the Flight Simulator game.
Me either. Never had any interest, but this makes you want to play.
Right. Maybe this will inspire me to go to real school. Real fun. Oh, capturing the tornadoes. Hot air balloon trips. That's great. I want to play. I want to play. When they get the service.
Obviously, it's out now. It's not coming 2024. And last but not least, we have Spellagis. Same sort of hordes and the hordes of enemies, roguelike like Vampire Survivor.
Yeah. I was wondering why the game is $5. I see why. But this is cool.
No, I don't mind games like this.
Me either. These are very like half the time.
Yeah,
Kind of relaxed.
and like you said, $5.
Right.
Can't be upset about that. All right.
Okay.
All right. So that's our games for the week. Brian, what's going on with you, man?
Preparing another episode of the Talk+Play Blerd Pod. Don't know exactly what I'm going to be speaking about just yet, but I'm writing. Things are on the way. This is pretty much it. What about yourself?
Got you. Last time we spoke, my interview with Duchess Coco from Exotica, New Jersey dropped. Same with my interview with Hazel Grace. I dropped playing with AI, so we got a video talking about why every gentleman needs a pocket square, as well as today, yesterday, my interview with Hot Wife Sadie dropped from Exotica, and then tomorrow, well, by the time this comes, I'll be out already. My interview with Apple Red Bottom will be out. So a lot of stuff coming, a lot of stuff still on the pipe. But you know you are Nerds with the World. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at New Release Wednesday, on X, Twitter at the NRW, and of course you're currently on YouTube. So make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe.
All good.